All right.
Looks like we're there. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Wherever you are in the world. Wherever you are in the world. We are live with Mr. Roy Huereque. How you doing, Roy?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad.
Well, you're looking good, Roy. I can't say you look a day over 95.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. So how was your birthday? Your birthday was just last week.
My birthday was last week. Yeah,
How was it?
It was real good.
What'd you do?
I got calls from all the relatives in California and around the world.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah, because not a lot of people know what it is or what it feels like to be 95 years old.
Well, I am. Believe it or not.
Yeah, you're looking good. I like the beard too. The beard is good. Is that
Well,
the pandemic beard?
Yes.
It's coming off tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, Roy, last year for the pandemic, obviously we weren't going anywhere. So I just completely stopped shaving. And, being Native American, I don't have a lot of hair at all. Like I never shaved my cheeks or anything like that. So I just get a little bit of hair here and a little bit of hair here. And I think I let my hair, my beard, I guess, grow for, I think it was like 7 months. And I got a little bit of hair. So if you look at some of our old Zoom veteran calls, you'll see a little bit of hair on my face. But that's the only hair I've ever had in my entire life on my face, ever. And it looks so strange.
Yeah,
but
that's funny.
you look much better with hair on your face than I do.
Yeah, you look like a baller. Look at that. I wouldn't mess with you. That's for sure.
So Roy, how's the transition going from moving from California to Ohio?
It wasn't too bad. We had movers move us, so we didn't have to do it. They packed everything and they put them in the trailers and brought everything down here for us. So we're still unpacking, believe it or not.
You are, yeah. So you moved here so it's only been like 4 months, right, since your move?
In December.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's pretty crazy because I've been to your house several times in California, and it was pretty hot. And now you go from very hot to being in Ohio, which I think is very cold.
Very cold.
Yeah, but we have 4 seasons over here.
Yeah.
California only have 2 seasons, summer and winter. That's it.
Yeah.
Over here we have all four seasons, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Well, we're so happy to have you today. This has been great during the pandemic. A lot of you guys haven't had a chance to get out and to go to the schools, all the assemblies that we do normally when we're not in a pandemic. But this is the best next thing actually, because it's able for you to connect with people, to share your story, and to get out there via Zoom, via technology, which has been wonderful. So we're super excited to have you on here. You're our first Ranger. I mean, you set the bar for so many Rangers to this day who became Rangers. And your generation, what you guys did during World War II, stands strong. I mean, there's a lot of men after you that joined the Rangers because of you and what you guys did. So it's an honor to have you out here. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that could be coming on and want to ask you questions.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. So we're gonna start off in about 30 or about a minute. We'll start bringing in Paolo first, then Connor, then Nathan. They're first up on the list. So when you guys hear that, be ready. I'm trying to find an old picture of Roy. I know I got one on here.
Here, I got one for you.
Where's my Zoom pics? Where are they at? Pictures. Yeah, I know I had them.
Here, I got one for you.
Send them to me. I don't know why. I had it all ready to go too.
You have that's not. Sorry. Coming in hot. All right, there you go. There you go.
All right, you sent me some?
Yeah, so we got a couple photos of you in uniform. And maybe you can share, describe where these photos were taken.
Yeah. Let me get them up here. Feels so early.
It is early, actually. It is. Because normally we do these on Saturday.
But yeah.
Yeah, normally do on Saturday, but there's always things that happen. So today is great.
Yeah. A little Sunday morning.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Getting us up early here.
Yeah, it is. So a lot of the team, hey Roy, a lot of the team are excited to say hello to you. They've been asking about you. We lost contact for a little bit, which was a bummer because all of our mail got returned back to us, and the phone number was just disconnected. But I'm glad that we're connected again.
Look at that guy.
There you are.
That's me in Germany.
That's you in Germany, huh?
Yeah, that's just Miesbach, Germany.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
How much did you weigh there?
What would tell me again?
How much did you weigh?
About the same as I do now, 147.
Ain't much changed, huh?
Staying in shape, looking good, looking good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then, yeah, here we got a close-up. A little bit better. Let's go.
Want to hear a story about that?
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Oh, hey, look at this.
Look at that guy.
Yeah, that's a fresh, clean shaven Ranger if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Who is that guy?
Go. Rangers lead the way.
So Roy, how old were you in this photo?
Tell me what?
In the last photo, how old were you at the time? Do you remember?
The last photo?
Right
Yeah,
there.
how old were you?
That photo, I was just drafted right there.
Mm,
I was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
wow.
they wanted them young.
Young and fresh. Ready
So,
to go.
hey, Austin, go back to that the first photo that you picked, that you put up when he was in Germany. So,
Yeah.
Roy, tell us the story about this photo.
That
So you had a
photo
story
there,
about it.
you can see an SG on the helmet, and they put us on security guard because the Germans were wearing our uniforms and they were coming through our lines. So they put us in different areas, and we had to check anybody coming through. And if you spoke German, you were in big trouble.
Oh, wow.
So did you guys have any passwords that you had to ask them? Because I know Germans have a difficult time saying W, the way that we use the word W. So they use kind of like a more of a V sounding, like on welcome, they would say welcome.
Welcome.
Not really.
No? Okay, just curious. Yeah.
We just our orders were to keep the Germans from infiltrating. And if you spoke German, you were going to be in big trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm only 5'7", but when I'm wearing my 45 and my M1 and 2 hand grenades, I'm about 6 foot tall.
I love it. I love it.
So, Roy, what we're going to do here is we're going to start bringing in kids from all over the world who want to come in and meet you and ask you questions. And so we'll bring it on one at a time. If you're watching this and you want to join in and ask Roy a question, the Zoom link is in the chat, and you can join in, get in the lobby, and we'll go in order. and try and get everybody in today so they can have some FaceTime with Mr. Roy Huereque. Sound good, Roy?
Sounds good to me.
All right, so let's bring in
All right.
Paolo. All right, bringing him in, bringing him in.
From where?
Hello.
Hello, Paolo.
Hello,
Hello.
guys. Hello, Mr. Roy. How are you doing today?
Oh, not too bad for an old man.
Nice. Mr. Roy, my name is Paulo. I am from Brazil, and I am 18 years old.
Oh,
Nice.
boy.
It's very nice to meet you.
Yeah, they should go and draft you now.
You were drafted at my age, weren't you?
Yep.
Drafted at your age, yes, sir.
Wow.
I went
Wow.
in as a young man, and I came out, I was an old man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. So, Paula, you speak Portuguese, right?
Yes, I speak Portuguese.
Well, you know where Roy's family's from, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, tell him, Roy.
Yeah, my family's from New Mexico. Carlsbad.
Yeah, but what's your heritage?
Your heritage.
My heritage is Spanish.
All right.
I speak some Spanish.
I thought
Oh,
you were
nice.
Portuguese. I thought you were Portuguese.
Said he thought you were Portuguese.
Who's Portuguese?
I thought you were.
Oh, you were.
No, I'm not. I'm from the Spanish generation, from the conquistadors, way back when the Pancho de Leon and the Cabeza de Vaca and Columbus, all those explorers came from Spain.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah, were they good guys? I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
There's a rabbit trap.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
All right, well, Paolo, you got Roy, so go ahead and do your thing.
Okay. Just before I ask my questions, Mr. Roy, I would like to thank you very much for your service and for our freedom. Thank you very much.
Well, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. It's an honor. It's an honor. So my first question is, have you ever been under fire of the German machine gun MG42? And if yes, what is it like to be under fire of that gun?
Well, it's not fun.
Yes.
No, it's not too much fun, really. They had the burp gun. I don't know if you heard about that one. The Germans did, and that was a very, very effective gun. And it was supposed to have been better than what we had. You know, when we went in for training, they said we were the best equipped, we were the best fed, and that we had the best equipment. And they lied to us, because when we got to Germany had some guns that they surprised us. They had some pretty good stuff.
Interesting.
So, Roy, you're talking about the burp gun. I believe that was an MP40.
Well, I don't know the number that it was, but
Yeah.
I know that it fired 20 rounds, I think, in just a couple of seconds. That's why they call it the burp gun. They didn't fire like a semi-automatic. It just come out burp like that, 20 rounds. And you better find a foxhole or you better find a big tree to get behind.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh. So,
I wanna be around.
Mr. Roy, could you talk about the oven story?
What?
The oven
The
story.
oven story.
Oh, they told you about the oven?
Yeah, I was
Oh
watching
my
an interview
God.
with you, and you started to talk about
don't
the
believe
oven
it.
story.
Well, okay, we were going on a reconnaissance for the Third Army. I think it was one of the rivers, the big rivers, and they wanted us to go up and get all the information we could. on the troops that were across the river where they were infiltrated. So we went up, we got up there to the river, but we found a boy, little boy soldier. He must have been maybe just 14 years old, in German uniform. But being 14 years old, we just let him go. But guess what he did? He went across the river and told the Germans that we were coming.
Oh my God.
So when we got there, they started shelling us with the artillery. What do you call this? The personnel shells. They're up over your head about 200 feet, and they explode, and the shrapnel comes down, and it's supposed to take you out. So anyway, we had to, in the daytime, we had to go, we had two foxholes in the fence, one on the outside and one on the inside. At nighttime, we would keep the foxholes on the outside. Daytime would not be on the inside. But we had to be on guard because they might counterattack. So if we had a counterattack, we had to do something. I don't know what we was going to do, but we had to do something. So anyway, I'm in the foxhole right there, and they're shooting these shells. And the shrapnel is coming down and it's hitting my helmet and bouncing off the helmet and bouncing off of my jacket. So I didn't like that. I said if they brought the cannons down anymore, they probably would have took me out. But I seen this big oven over in one side of me there, and I looked at the oven, and I seen the door, and I think all these Germans, they always cook their bread in these big ovens. So I said, if I get in that oven, I won't be feeling the shrapnel hitting me. So I crawled into the oven, and I was fine because, you know, as long as those shrapnel wasn't hitting you, you're okay. But you don't know how effective they're going to be, you know. So anyway, my guard comes out to relieve me, and he's calling me. He says, Roy. He said, where are you? I wasn't in the foxhole. And he says, where are you? I said, I'm over here in the oven. He said, what the hell are you doing in the oven? I said, oh, you'll find out. You'll be in here pretty soon. So that was the oven.
How big was that oven?
I felt pretty safe in the oven.
Trying to picture like what I picture an oven, and I'm like, how does a human being fit in there? How big was it?
I'm surprised you knew about the oven. You're so far away.
They said how big was it?
I was watching an interview, and you started to talk about the oven story, and I thought, oh my God, this is an incredible story. I never heard something like that.
Yeah.
That's a story of survival.
How big was it? How big was
Oh, the oven was pretty big. It was about like a door from a house.
Oh, it was a big
Oh,
industrial.
big one.
Oh,
A big one.
And I measured the door with my eyeballs, and I said, I can fit right through that door. So that's where I went. So we got fired on for about 3 days. So, you know, the Germans would fire at us, and then they would stop. They would fire at us for 15 minutes. They would stop and they would blow some weird sirens. I think they were probably trying to drive us nuts or something, but they were all different pitch sirens, high ones, low ones. And then they would do that 15 minutes, and they would shell us every 15 minutes.
wow.
So they did that for about 3 days. So we had to stay there until the artillery moved in. They were 14 miles behind us. And we heard their first shell go over our heads. And we had a guy named Woods. He was an Indian guy. And he was an old timer. And he jumped up and he said, listen. Scared the shit out of us. Said, listen to what? He said, listen, you're going to hear something, because you heard the cannon go off 14 miles back. And it did. It went right over our heads. It sounded like somebody was shaking some tin. We seen the first shell go into, I think it was Regensburg, the first shell. And when the first shell went up, then, we started screaming and hollering and raising our hands and everything. They're here. Our artillery's here. So finally, it only took them about 10 minutes. They set the whole damn town on fire.
Wow.
So that was our time to get the hell out of there.
Roy, do you have any regrets on? I said, do you have any regrets on letting that 14-year-old kid go and not detaining him or something like that, because he went to go tell the Germans, and that's when you guys got hit with artillery?
They would tell the Germans that the Americans were coming.
Yeah, did you
He
regret?
warned the Americans, or warned the Germans.
Did you regret letting him go and seeing how it turned out? Like,
Well, not really, because what could you do with a 14-year-old boy? You can't do nothing with him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
no, I didn't feel bad. If he
yeah,
had been grown up, he would have been dead.
Yeah.
yeah. Now you hear stories like that sometimes, because they get in the way sometimes, and you detain them, you let them go. What do you do with them? And you let them go, and they go tell the enemy, like, hey, there's some Americans over there. And then
See, a situation like that, I think, happened with the Operation Red Wings of the movie Lone Survivor. I think they let the little boy go, and then the same thing happened.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
but that was real?
Yes,
yeah, that was real.
yeah.
Well, this was real too.
yeah, they didn't do a movie on that one yet. But
Not
you never
yet. We're working on it. Well,
Well, that
cool.
was
Hello.
real. So was this one.
Hello. Good to see you again. You wanna
Thanks,
say one
guys.
last thing?
Mr. Roy, it was very, very nice to have the chance to talk to you. I'm feeling great. I'm so happy, and I will never forget this opportunity that I just had. Thank you very much. Thank you for freedom.
Yes,
Thank you for saving the world.
you have a good life.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Best Defense Foundation. Thank you very much, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
See
you're
you again.
welcome. Great seeing you, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Hey, Roy, that's all the way from Brazil.
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 18-year-old kid from Brazil.
Yep.
It's a nice looking
Oh.
boy.
Yeah, he's a great kid. I mean, most kids are playing video games, but his Sunday is here, with you, asking you a question and wanted to hear your stories, which is so wonderful.
There's
So
a lot of
wonderful. And that's why we do what we do, to make sure that we can make the connection and keep history alive.
Yep.
I'm surprised you knew
So-
about.
So for those of you who haven't put it together or aren't realizing, this is if you've seen our D-Day 75 video,
Yeah.
this is the guy at the beginning who says, "Get your ass in the water."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I got the photos.
for those of you who don't realize it, if you come on and talk to Roy, he's kind of a celebrity.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roy, we have almost 3 million views on that program
That video
video
alone.
from the 75th D-Day anniversary.
At one point, that was considered viral. I don't know if it is anymore, but
My dad went viral.
yeah. I feel like viral now. You got to break like 1 billion just to be cool. All right, let's bring in Connor.
I didn't hear that.
Hey,
Oh,
Got
Connor.
a cat with him this time.
Connor, Connor.
Hello.
What's up, Connor?
Nothing much.
Right on. Well, you're on with Mr. Roy Huereque.
So is that your cat?
That's my sister's cat.
Ah,
Oh. Does it have a name?
Her name is Lana.
Okay.
nice.
Well, good.
Connor, tell Roy where you're from and how old you are.
My name is Connor, as you can see, and I'm 16 years old and live in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah,
16,
that's where we're going.
huh?
That's where we're going. Lafayette.
Lafayette?
Yeah, Louisiana. That's where we're going. That's where
Oh.
David's at.
He's from Lafayette?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lafayette.
Like they're going to Lafayette soon.
Really?
Yep.
nice meeting you. You're awful young.
Nice to meet you too.
Years old.
Yep, I'm 16.
Have you learned anything?
Learn lots of things in my life. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. You're a good looking boy.
Thank you very much. Well, I got some
Yeah, you're
questions
on
for
the Roy.
you.
Yeah.
I got some questions for you, Mr. Roy.
Go for it.
So what were the names of your parents, and did you have any brothers and sisters?
My parents were, my dad was named Gregorio.
Gregorio, that's a good name.
Yeah,
It's a great name.
Gregorio Huereque. And then my mother was named Felicia Serna.
Alicia and Gregorio.
And, my
Gregorio,
dad,
yeah.
The
my
romance.
dad was
itself.
born, he was born in Mexico. And way back in those days, if you crossed a river and you married an American girl, you automatically became a citizen of the United States. So that's what my dad did. He swam the river. They called them wetbacks. So he was a wetback. He crossed the river, married my mother, and then he automatically became a citizen of the United States. And he was one of the, I guess you could call him a pioneer, because he went to work and he started in construction, and he did very well for himself.
Nice.
And my mother was she worked for the hotels and everything like that, but we had a pretty good life, except during the Depression. I don't know if he knows what the Depression was or not. He's only 16 years old.
He
knows.
He knows this stuff.
Yeah.
You guys probably don't even remember the Depression.
No, we
know what it is.
Watch the videos and try to read and hear your stories from people that went through it.
I went through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about his age when I went through that.
Wow.
So what do you remember from that?
I remember that nobody had nothing. There was we got we had to make our own gardens. We had to make grow our own vegetables. We had chickens and turkeys and rabbits. Everybody had their own little gardens. And then we got help from the army. The army would give us clothes, and then they had I don't know what they called them, but they took old streetcars and they put food in there, and then we would go to the streetcars and it would give us food. But when you're poor, you don't really know you're poor.
Right.
So when we survived it, we didn't know we were poor.
Right.
We were just having a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, they always talk about that. Ignorance is bliss. You don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Especially when you're young, you just think this is the way it is. And the resiliency of humans is pretty amazing. I mean, you just keep going. And you talk about, having it hard. I mean, it's all subjective, because having nothing, Roy, today, is not having, video games or PlayStation. It's just, it's such a different mentality than what you guys went through. So having nothing, when you said it from back in the day, I mean, it means truly, really not having much at all.
Yeah. Nowadays, like I have a PS3 instead of a PS5. I was poor.
You was poor?
I'm joking.
And then we'd steal the neighbor's chickens.
Oh, jeez.
And then we would steal their, everybody had fruit trees up in the front.
Yeah.
Loquats and apples and stuff like that. So we'd go to the neighbors and steal their loquats.
Yeah. Hey, Roy, did you guys ever go to soup lines? Because I know looking at pictures and video from back in the day, I guess the government had areas where you can go and get soup or food or bread. Is that something that?
Soup lines.
Yes, they had, I forgot what they called.
Soup lines.
Huh?
Soup lines.
Soup lines. No, they weren't soup lines. They would give you food from like the army, and then they would give us clothes. Everybody wore khakis and t-shirts. Because we got them from the army.
So those were government issued to just the
World War.
Wow.
Well, Connor, you got another question?
Well, I have questions. So
go for it.
How many brothers and sisters did you have, Mr. Roy, and how long did your parents live? And after that, I'm going to have questions about your service.
Brothers and sisters.
What do you say?
Brothers and
Brothers and sisters did you have?
Oh, brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Oh, brothers, I had 3 brothers and 1 sister. And
Family.
and during the war, the government would give the mother a red star to put on her door, and my mother had 3 stars on her door.
Oh, wow.
So she contributed quite a bit to the war effort, and she only weighed 110 pounds.
Little lady.
Yeah.
So now you had 2 other brothers served then?
I
Two
didn't.
other brothers. 2 other brothers that served.
2 other brothers?
That served in
Yeah.
the military.
Frank. I had 1 brother in the South Pacific, and he was in. They were building up for the invasion of Japan, and he saw the bomb when they dropped it.
Oh, wow.
They seen a big light out in the ocean, and they didn't know what it was. The bomb was so secret, nobody knew anything.
Oh, wow.
So it was the A bomb they dropped in Nagasaki or Hiroshima.
Yeah.
And then the first one they wouldn't surrender, and then they dropped the second one, and they did surrender because it was so destructive.
Yeah.
But it would have been a bloodbath if my brother had been in the invasion in Japan. So
It would have been.
President Truman, when he signed the orders to drop the bomb, he said he was going to save a lot of American lives, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
He saved a lot of lives. That was
Yeah,
pretty
my
sad.
grandfather also said that as well. He said he saved a lot of lives. I mean, he's like, you're probably here because of what Truman decided to do, because the Japanese were going to fight to the end. And there's a lot of Americans that wouldn't be here today.
For sure.
Yeah, they were going to send us to China, Burma, and India when the war ended over there.
CPI.
And they were making they were getting us ready to go to China, Burma, and India, and we were in Paris, France, and they told us we didn't have to go now. And we asked, well, why? What happened? And then they said they dropped the A-bomb. We didn't know what A-bomb was, so we asked them, what's the A-bomb? And they told us what the A-bomb was. And then they said we didn't have to go to China, Burma, and India because the Japanese had surrendered.
Wow.
So that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing because like now, I mean, think about Connor. Connor, you're 15, right, Connor?
16 now.
16 now.
Yeah, he just had a birthday, 16. And you think about the way that information is passed now, right? Because like, you know, in 1945, you know, at the end of the war, you just said you're in Paris and you heard this and you listened to the newspaper or the radio. I mean, information travels so slow. But in today's age, how fast information travels, it's just incredible.
Mhm.
I mean, the information is out there all over the place. I mean, it's just incredible when you think about it to that capacity. You understand, like, you know, like just in the invasion of Normandy, Operation Overlord. I mean, it's just interesting when you think about it. When you talk about that, it just makes me think about the difference on the speed of transmission of information.
Mhm.
Now, I got some questions for him about his service now.
Go for it.
So I know you were in General Patton's army. Can you tell him what he was like and tell me the commanders that you had the most respect and what were the battles like when you fought in the Rangers?
General Patton?
What was he like?
General Patton was very tough general. And he told the Germans that his army does not retreat. And that's what they did. That's what he did. He wouldn't retreat. He would go forward. Forward, he says, this army just goes forward. So
Yeah.
he was a pretty tough guy. We needed more guys just like him because during war you need people like him. And
Did you like him? Did you and the other guys like him?
well, I did, but he scared me though because he had no fear. He had no fear of anything. He was out there. One place there where they showed that the airplanes were strafing his headquarters, and he come out there with a pistol and he started shooting with the airplanes with a pistol. You can't shoot an airplane down with a pistol, but he was out there. But when you have a general like that or somebody that has no fear, he can get you killed real quick.
Yeah, I know he was a big man too. I think he was like 6'2" or 6'3", just a
He was tall.
oversized, sized man, like a big man. And just, I mean, I guess like, when you're in war and in battle, I think it's encouraging to have someone of that leadership, of that strength, of that tenacity of just not being afraid, as you go against the Germans. And I'm sure it was a nice reprieve for a lot of guys.
You can have a trickle down effect with that. The general starts getting afraid. His whole regiment's gonna be afraid.
Right.
Well, I couldn't do what he did because everything scared me. You close the door behind me and I jump.
Nice. So Connor, what was the other question you asked within that? Like, what was it like fighting as a ranger?
Yeah, what was it like for him fighting as a ranger? What were the other commanders besides Patton? Because I know Patton was a very tough general, and I've met some people that were under Patton's army.
Patton.
So
Like, were there any other commanders that you had that you respected, Roy?
The commanders?
Yeah, that were under Patton.
For the Rangers? or-
Yes, all the Rangers. We were all assigned to the Third Army.
Like, were there any commanders that you remember that you respected a lot?
The commanders, we didn't have too much. We weren't too much in touch with our commanders. But our officers, our officers that were with us, they were really great guys. And we had the lieutenant that we had, Lieutenant Thomas. I would have followed him anywhere. He was really a great guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was, I even remember his name, Lieutenant Thomas. Remember what he looked like? And I think that we all would have followed him wherever he went. So,
But you know, you got a good leader.
Yeah, that's great leadership.
Yeah.
It's great leadership.
yeah, the general of the Fifth Army now, I didn't meet him until after we went to when we went to the Normandy. That's when I met him,
Oh, wow.
because we were always moving forward. We were always away from headquarters. We always had like they say, a one-man army. So I'll tell you one good one where, in fact, can you guys see a picture?
Yeah, you can hold up a picture.
Yeah, show us a picture.
This picture.
Right here.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, there you are.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the guys from my squad.
Oh, that's awesome.
Donald Harris,
My
Nelson.
squad, yeah, and I'm down below here somewhere. Let me see.
Is that you right there?
That's me right here.
That's awesome.
And these are the guys in my squad. This guy over here was the machine gunner, and this other guy over here was the sergeant. And I have some people looking for these guys to see if they're still alive. And they found one of them, Masters. That was this guy. My buddy, we buddied together all the time. And she found him, but the only thing is that he had died a couple of years ago.
Oh, bummer.
But she's doing research to see if the other ones are still alive.
Oh,
So I probably won't find out for maybe a couple of months.
it's a
Wow.
good looking squad, though.
Yeah. Where was that picture taken at, Roy?
Say what?
Where was that picture taken at? Do you remember?
You know what? I have no idea. I'll tell you something. So
Somewhere out there.
you guys probably don't know it, but here's an 18-year-old boy going to 3,000, 4,000 miles from home. Never been out of California.
Right.
And now I'm in a town where I can't speak the language. I can't read the
Right.
sign. I don't know where the hell I'm at. And half the time we didn't know where we was or where we were going. They'd say, go that way, and then that's the way we would go. But I'm gonna tell you about the sergeant here, or this one here. When I joined the Rangers, they made a getaway man out of me because I was the shortest guy in the squad. So the colonel said that he was going to make me a getaway man. I asked him, so what the hell's a getaway man? He said, if the squad got into a ruckus, I'm supposed to take off and go get help and come back and take care of his business. So I told him, I said, I said, Colonel, I'm going to make the best getaway man you ever had.
Nice.
Because I had permission to leave.
Right.
And then this sergeant here, we were going up to that river where I got into the oven. And he told me, he says, Roy, he says, you take the point. I says, why am I taking the point? I'm getaway man. He says, your name's Roy, isn't it? I said, yeah. He said, then get your ass up there. So, so here I go, right on the point. And when you're on the point, that's what they call a one-man army, because there's nobody in front of you and nobody behind you. You're there by yourself. And you don't really get scared until you get up there and they start firing, and then you get a little scared.
Yeah, the bullets start flying.
I thought you'd like that picture.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
awesome.
kind of felt bad when they told me Master had died, though, because he was my real good buddy. The other guys, I don't know if they'll find them alive or not, but
Did you lose any of those guys in that photo there during the war?
say what?
Did you lose any of those guys there during the war?
Not these guys. No, there were some right there in Normandy. Some of those guys they got killed. They're the real heroes, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Every day's Memorial Day, and for us to always remember their sacrifice so that we can live today.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Yeah.
There were during the war there were 16 million of us in all the service, 16 million, and
It's an unfathomable number.
It's crazy.
say what?
I'm just
It's
like,
crazy. It's a crazy number.
it's hard to even imagine.
16 million?
Yeah,
Yeah, and they were still being drafted.
yeah.
I mean, think about the percentage at the time of Americans at the time. I mean, I don't know I'm trying to remember what the population was during the 40s in America, but think about that percentage of people that were in the military and how many people were living in America at the time. If you take that same percentage to now, what are we, 330 million people now? Imagine the percentage.
There's 132 million Americans in during World War II.
132. So now we're at what, 330, 340 million?
That's more than 10% of the population doing the serve. Wow. That's crazy.
So, I mean, think about that. If it was, today's numbers,
It'd be
I mean, you're
40
looking
million.
at what?
Same percentage, about 40 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you know
Just to put it
what?
into perspective, right? Just put it into perspective.
Do you know when Roosevelt, the English were getting hit with the Blitz over there, and Germans were really tearing England up, and they asked us to get into the war, and President Roosevelt said no, he didn't want to, but he sent them a Lend-Lease equipment. They sent them all airplanes and guns and tanks and everything. But then when they bombed Pearl Harbor, guess what? He declared war on Germany, on Italy, and also Japan. And he told the Americans, he said, I want every American between 18 and 35 to stand up and be counted. And guess what? Everybody stood up.
Yep.
The recruiting offices they were 2 blocks long, guys waiting to get into the recruiting office. So it was quite patriotic, something like that.
Yeah.
But
And thank God you guys did. Thank
Yeah.
God you guys did and stood up, I mean, after we got punched in the face in Pearl Harbor, I mean, there's so many young Americans that stood up and wanted to serve and defend our country. And thank God for you guys so that we can live in this incredible country, the world, freedom that we have today. I mean, that's why we don't forget. It's so important. And I wish we still had that same mentality as we have, today.
Did you ever hear that saying, stand up and be counted?
Mhm.
Yeah,
You did. Okay.
Yep.
Then
for sure.
I'm glad.
Well, you guys certainly did. Your generation certainly did for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Connor, do you have one more question?
Yes, I did.
Go for it.
All right. First of all, what was it like fighting in combat as a ranger? And do you remember the 5th Army commander's name that you met until France?
What do you say?
What was it like fighting as a ranger? And do you remember your commanding officer in France?
My commanding officer?
Is that Major General John Rand?
I don't remember.
No.
The ranger.
It was like being a ranger was being a ranger was it was like a privilege because we were supposed to be the elite, and being elite made you kind of special. And when they ask you to do something, it didn't take much for you to just go ahead and do it. They told us a lot of things. We had to march prisoners. We had to guard generals. We had to a lot of assignments that we had, but we never refused an assignment. And it seemed like it's something that we had to do, and we did it. Every one of us.
Nice. Very cool. Well,
Yeah,
thank you for
awesome,
that.
awesome.
Thank you for that, for sure. Very cool. Well, Connor,
Well, cool. Any last words,
Good to
Connor,
see ya.
that you want to say to Mr. Roy Huereque?
Yeah, sure. Well, you're a living testament, and I would like to thank you for what you've done for this country, and thank you for sharing your stories. And if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't have much today like we have today, and I would not be standing here interviewing those Second World War veterans who defended our country because of Pearl Harbor attack and stood up and became a leader. So it means a lot to my generation and the others as well.
Well, nice meeting you, and thank you for asking questions and remembering.
absolutely. All right, Connor, good to see you, man.
See you soon.
Have a good one.
Yeah, Connor. Sure looks good on you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Lafayette, Louisiana.
When are you going to be down there, Roy?
That's where David Williams.
Yeah. Or David.
Yeah, when are you going to be in Lafayette?
What,
When?
when am I going to be in Lafayette?
Yeah.
Probably this summer, because do you remember
June or July we're going.
June or July? Remember David Williams? He was representative and the president of the Ranger something.
I forgot.
He invited us to go over there, and he said, come in uniform, and he said the whole town will be out to meet you.
Yeah, great. I love it.
I couldn't believe that.
I'm sure Connor will come out and see you.
Yeah, I'm sure Connor's going to be out there. You let me know when you're going to be out there. I'll make sure we make a connection so you can
Yeah.
meet young Connor
For sure.
in
Well,
person.
yeah, I will. It should be maybe around in July.
Okay.
He said he's going to take us and show us around, and he's going to take us to New Orleans.
Oh, good.
Very cool.
Huh?
All right. We're
Yeah.
gonna bring in
He's
Nate.
going to take us to New Orleans and show us around, and he said we could stay at his house. We wouldn't have to rent a hotel.
Wonderful.
But
Well, that's good.
I plan on doing that. Because
Wonderful.
they mentioned Lafayette, and I said that's where David lives.
Yeah.
Lafayette.
Yeah,
Lafayette's a cool little town.
have you guys met David? Oh,
I haven't.
you should meet David. He's
He's the ranger something.
he's the president of the
Ranger something.
Ranger.
Association.
I don't know what you call it,
Oh, they're looking it up then.
but it's only the Ranger group.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'd love to meet him. There's an opportunity for sure.
Took us to Georgia.
Because if he's taking care of you guys, he's a friend of mine,
Yeah.
friend of ours for
I
sure.
tried to bring Nathan in, but it's not adding him in. So I guess we'll go on down the list and hopefully Nathan can get in later. So we'll wait 20 seconds, but next three in line are Patrick, Matthew, and Camden. So Patrick, Matthew, and Camden, get ready. You'll be the next three coming in. So Roy, tell us a little bit about when we went back to Normandy for the 75th anniversary. What was that like for you personally?
Well, it's one of the greatest days of my life. That's what it was.
Ew. I don't know. That was one of the greatest programs and experiences we've ever
It
had.
was incredible.
Well, listen, here's can you see a picture?
Yeah, hold it up.
Remember that one?
Nice. That's you with the president.
Yep. President, First Lady, Major General John Rand. You got active duty Rangers there.
Yeah.
I remember that. I have that same photo.
And I remember when we were going up to meet the president, they had to take us in wheelchairs because I couldn't walk. I can't walk that far, you know. And one of you guys were pushing me. I don't know which one of you it was, but one of you guys pushes me, and some little 14-year-old boy came from a French boy, couldn't speak English, and he came up there and he was talking to me in French, and I couldn't understand him. So somebody told me what he wants to do. He said he wants to know if he could push you.
Oh, that's cute.
And I told him, I said, yeah, you get behind me and you push me. And he had the biggest smile on his face. My God, I got a picture of that. I don't know where it is,
Oh,
but
that's awesome.
somewhere I got that picture. But I think I made his day just letting him push me through the crowd.
That's awesome. I love it.
And then while we were going up there, you know, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but we had to show our passports to get in to see the president. And we had one of the guys from the 101st Airborne. He says, when the hell do I have to show a passport? He said, when I was here during Normandy, he said, I didn't need to show no stinking passport.
Yeah.
Yeah, they certainly didn't ask for a passport when you guys came to liberate, you know.
Yeah.
Let me see your papers.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
We had to show a passport.
That's funny.
Oh man.
All right. Well, let's bring in Patrick. Let's see if
All right.
Patrick is ready. Come on in, Patrick. So Patrick is all the way in the Philippines.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, Patrick. It's a
Hello.
little better time for you this time, huh?
Yeah, it's 12 a.m. here.
Usually Patrick is getting on about 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's nice to see you again, guys.
Nice to meet
Yeah.
you. Well, you're on with Mr. Roy Huereque. Ranger.
Yeah.
Go
Hello,
ahead.
Mr. Roy. I'm Patrick. I'm from Philippines, Manila.
Oh, Manila.
Yep.
Yes.
I remember Fort MacArthur was there once.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you know who Fort MacArthur was or not.
Do you know who Fort MacArthur was?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who MacArthur was, but he was the commanding officer in the South Pacific, and he went to Manila and liberated it.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a famous saying. He said, "I'll be back," and there's a famous photo of him walking in the water, coming out of the water. Yeah,
Yeah, smoking his pipe.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it was a corn pipe or something like that. It's pretty crazy.
Yes.
Well, Patrick, you're on with Roy. Tell him. Well, you already told him where you are, but
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Ask your question.
Go ahead, buddy.
Mr. Roy, I have two questions. The first one is, can you tell me the two concentration camps you witnessed there when you're in journey?
So, which concentration camps did you witness when you were in Germany?
Concentration camps.
The concentration camps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which ones did you witness when you were there?
Well, I can't go into too much of this, the graphics of it though, because of the children. They shouldn't know what happened during the Nazis' era, but it wasn't pretty. It wasn't very pretty at all. But I really don't want to. I don't really want the children to know the graphic part of it, because it was
graphic.
it was too graphic. I don't know how to explain that, but
That's understandable. But
yeah,
do you remember the name?
it's something it's something that shouldn't have ever happened, and the people that did that, they had to have been monsters to do what they did. And I hope it never ever happens again. Not ever to anybody anywhere.
Do you remember the
So
name?
Roy, what was the feeling that you guys had after you guys had witnessed those concentration camps? Did it empower you to really resolve you guys to want to win more and to beat the Germans?
Yes, it certainly did. Yeah, because when you see these something graphic like that, and you wonder how could people do that to other people? You know, and what ticked me off a lot was they were killing women and children, and I didn't have any trouble pulling the trigger. Let's just say that, because we didn't have any trouble pulling the trigger, because they had to be stopped, and we were there to stop them, and that was what we did.
Yeah.
But it was another thing. It's well, think about it when you think about women and children, you know, being put in ovens and killed. How could people do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, it's a brutal thing to even think about. That it's hard. It's really hard to understand how that could have happened. Like how the scale of it, how it happened, how it was allowed to happen, even in their own country by their own people. Like it's crazy to me. Yeah.
That it did happen.
Yeah. It's hard to believe. It's so crazy.
But at the same time, it's so important that the next generation, they don't need to know the details of it, but they need to understand it, and to know that this happened and this cannot ever happen again. I mean, this is real.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been able to visit, some of the concentration camps, and to see it firsthand, it's just, it doesn't make you feel good at all to know what happened there. But at the same time, it's an important part of history that should never, ever be forgotten.
Yeah. For sure. All right. Well, Patrick, what's your other question?
Why did you refuse to re-enlist the army again after the war?
Why did he refuse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Re-enlist again. Why did he refuse to re-enlist after the war?
So you didn't want to re-enlist after the war. Why was that?
Well, maybe I can draw you a picture, because what soldiers do. Soldiers go to war, and soldiers kill soldiers, and I seen about as much as I wanted to see, and I figured another war would break out, and I would have to go to another war. I don't think I could handle it. Do you know that in fact, I came out with the post-traumatic stress, from things that you see.
Yeah.
And you don't ever forget the things that you saw. And I don't want to see any more. I've seen enough killing. I've seen enough destruction. And no, I just wouldn't want to see anymore because you know you can only take so much, and then you get they call it battle fatigue. But when you're in the war, you get you see so much that you can't handle anymore.
Yeah.
I've talked to guys that were in the war, and when they would talk about their experience, they would break down and cry. Now, if you were in that kind of condition, why would you want to go and do it again? That's what I was thinking. Is I just don't want to do it again. I just said enough.
Yeah. You did your part.
You certainly did your part for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask another one quick question
Yeah.
before I go? Mr. Roy, I don't know. Have you experienced PTSD after the war? If yes, how do you handle it?
How did you deal with your PTSD, Roy?
Well, back then they didn't call it that.
Yeah,
right?
it was called battle fatigue or shell shock.
Yeah.
How did you deal with it?
They have counseling for you, and you go to the counselors, and then they give you pills for to keep you calm. I take I don't know what kind of pills I take, but I take pills for the post-traumatic stress, and I take a pill here and a pill there and all kinds of pills. That's to keep me from, you know, when I first got out of the service, all of us, when we were coming through Kansas, we had a 9-hour layover, and they said to go ahead and do whatever you want to do, but you better be here in 9 hours because the train's not going to wait for you. We were coming back to California. Well, what we did was we went out and we got, I had some swords that I brought back with me. So I didn't have any money, so I sold the swords to get money.
Oh, wow.
So I could go to the bar. So me and this other guy, we went down the bars on east side of the street. We go into a bar. Well, we come to one bar there, and my buddy, he hadn't been around women for 3-4 years, you know. So he just wanted to get next to a woman to smell her and touch her and whatever. But he did that. He touched her and she turned around and smacked him. And the whole bar started fighting.
Oh, jeez.
So the MPs came down there and they threw us in jail. And a reporter came through there and he was asking questions. Well, why are we in jail? Because I went into a bar there and we broke it up a little bit. So that's where we're at. And you know, we were supposed to go to court and see the judge. And the reporter, we have to get back and catch that train because if the train leaves, then we're going to be AWOL. So he went for us and they talked to the judge. And he says, Judge, you sent these over there to go through all of what they went through. And now they're coming back and you have no rehabilitation for them.
Yeah.
I guess they had too many to worry about rehabilitation.
Yeah.
But when we came back, that's exactly what we had. We had post-traumatic stress, but we didn't know we had post-traumatic stress.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he said, you sent them over there where they were masters of all they surveyed. Now you're turning them loose in the public over here, and they still haven't been rehabilitated.
Yeah.
So, well, they have rehabilitation now for the boys coming back. But back in those days, they didn't have any. So there was a lot of that going on with the boys when they went to the bar, had a few drinks, and they all that come out. Oh, I'm the master of all I survey, but it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the public now. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
But The judge, he said, okay, let him go, get back. And we got back to our training and we come back to California, but it's still, we didn't have any, we didn't have any real rehabilitation until the Vietnam War.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
When the Vietnam War guys came out, they did have a rehabilitation for them. But now when they come out with the rehabilitation, they also included the Second World War guys, and the Korean and Vietnam. So there you have it.
Interesting.
If it wasn't for the Vietnam, we wouldn't have the real rehabilitation.
Weird.
Yeah, no, it's amazing that some things don't change. The same things that you guys were going through, 75 years ago, 76 years ago, still prevalent today. Challenges for sure with PTS and just reacclimating yourself to life after, the battlefield. Some things never change for sure, and we can all help each other. I think now it's pretty prevalent now that we can start to talk about it, discuss it, because I know your generation, when you guys got done with the war, you guys didn't really talk about it at all. No one really talked about it. But now I think we're getting more educated to understand like these things are real and not all battle scars are visible, and if we're really truly want to support and help, the men and women that serve, that defend freedom, we got to make sure we take care of them. And, we're going to make it happen. We're going to do it for sure.
Yeah. Well, cool. Patrick, always good to see you. Thanks
All the
for
way
coming
from the
by.
Philippines, all the way from Manila to Philippines. I love it. I wish we can go out there.
We will.
Yeah.
One of these days when we're allowed.
Go visit Bataan. How you pronounce it? Kanabatuan? Kanabatuan?
Kabanatuan. Oh, the great raid. The great raid happened there.
How you pronounce it?
Kabanatuan. Kabanatuan. Kabanatuan.
Kanabatuan.
Kabanatuan.
Kanabatuan. I don't know.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for joining us, Patrick. If you want to say any last words to Roy before you go.
Yeah. Roy, thank you for your service and stay safe, stay healthy, and wish you have a long life.
He's had quite a long life so far, but he's got more to do. He's got more to go.
Thank you very much, but we did what we had to do, and we would do it again.
Absolutely. I know you would too. I know you would.
Oh yeah,
If the
Roy
country
got that
called,
famous-
Roy, I know if the country called, even at 95 years old, I know you'll be the first one with your hand up to say, hey, I'm ready to go. Let's go get them.
Oh yeah, Roy's got the famous line at the end of the video as well, where he says, "If the bad man ever comes back again, we're coming back to take care of you." Yeah, people love that line.
English lead the way, Mr. Roy.
I love that. I love that.
All right,
I got to watch that
Patrick.
video again.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
See you, Patrick.
I know it's funny, like having Roy in here. I'm like, oh man, he had so many good lines.
Yeah, for sure. So, Roy, what do you think about that? He's calling all the way from Manila in the Philippines.
Well, I think it's like you said, it's around the world. It's pretty great, that they had their problems too, in the South Pacific. And
Yeah.
I imagine they have a lot of memories too. And it just it shouldn't happen again.
Yeah, no, for sure. They were certainly partnered up with us during the war in the Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Matthew, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Sweet.
Hey,
All right.
hey, Matthew, how you doing, buddy?
Mr. Roy.
Pretty good, man. Mr. Roy,
Hello.
hi. I'm Matthew Aronson. I'm going to be 27 on Wednesday.
Right on.
Right.
Happy early birthday.
And I live in Chicago, Illinois.
A lot of birthdays here. So Roy's birthday was last week. My birthday was 2 weeks ago. And now your birthday's on Wednesday, which is awesome. Happy birthday, all of us.
Happy birthday.
Yay. All right, Matthew, you're on with Roy.
All right. Oh yeah, and it's Cabanatuan.
Cabana.
What do you think?
No, Cabanatuan. They were asking about the name of the camp. It's Cabanatuan.
I don't know.
Cabanatuan.
Patrick said it.
Patrick said it with a nice
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Tagalog
much
accent.
more nice.
Canabatuan.
Canabatuan.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, go ahead, Matt.
So hi, Mr. Roy. I have a question. When did you join the Rangers, or how did you wind up in the Rangers?
Actually, during the invasion, some of the Rangers got killed. So they needed a replacement for the ones that got killed. And they sent some of their people out to get volunteers to join the Rangers. And when I was right there in France and in La Harve, they were asking for replacements for the guys that got killed. So I didn't know much about the Rangers then, but I thought about it because they were the elite, and it kind of made sense, to be with the elite. And
When was this? Was this in September or?
When did you join, Daddy? Like what month?
It was
September, August?
well, the invasion was in June 6th of 1944. So it was just after the invasion.
Okay.
So what was I talking about?
When did you join the Rangers?
Oh, when I joined the Rangers. So I thought that would be something I'd like to get into. So I did. I told them I wanted to be a Ranger, so they sent me into the headquarters of the 5th Ranger Battalion, and I had to be interviewed by the colonel. And the colonel would be the one that would accept you or not accept you. What happened with this? Oh,
You're fine.
I thought something.
We hear you. Yeah, we hear you, Roy.
That would be General Max Schneider.
The what?
Was it?
He says a
Max
colonel.
Schneider.
But he says a colonel.
Yeah, Colonel Schneider.
No, I was interviewed by a colonel. I don't even remember his name, but
Schneider.
he would. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't remember.
Because when we were there, it was in a bombed out building, and they only had candles. They didn't have no electricity, so they had the colonel sitting in a desk, and they had 2 candles burning, and you couldn't actually even see the colonel. But they had two guards right next to him with 45s. I guess they were for his protection. But I went in and he asked me a bunch of questions, and then he said that I qualified. And that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear that I did qualify, because once you qualify, you're a Ranger. And for me, that was pretty damn good.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now
I'm
I'll
sure.
tell you, there are a lot of Rangers today that would have loved for that just to be the qualification.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you had to start somewhere, right? You had to start with a foundation somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that I liked what the Rangers did, Of course, some of it wasn't too nice, but we were assigned to all kinds of different kinds of missions and like marching prisoners, like going on a reconnaissance for the army, find out what's ahead, what they were going to have to face, like the rivers. The army would want to know what's on the other side of the river. So what we'd do is we'd go up to the river there, and they didn't know we were there. We would sneak up, and we would get all the information that we could. What kind of uniforms they were wearing, what kind of equipment they had, and all that kind of stuff. So the army, when they went to assault, they would know what they were up against. So that was kind of what we did. So I kind of like that.
Wow.
Well, such an elite group to be part of, for sure.
I have a
especially-
question.
Go on.
Okay, I was gonna ask, what do you remember about fighting in the Huereque Forest? If you remember fighting much in the Huereque Forest.
In the forest,
The Huereque
the
Forest?
Perkin,
Yeah.
Huereque.
I remember where we were. Like I was telling Donnie that I'm a little young kid from California, never been anywhere, and then now all of a sudden I'm in the middle of the war in Europe, and I can't speak their language, can't read their signs, and I don't know where I'm at. Half the time we didn't know where we were. Even if you asked, you still wouldn't know where you were because they would say it in German. And you were just in Europe, that's all. That's somewhere in Europe, that's all.
You remember fighting in the forests?
Say what?
You remember what it was like, the warfare within the forest?
In the forest?
Yeah.
The forest was a real bad. The forest was bad though, because they had the black forest, and the trees were just a foot away from each other. They were so thick that the equipment couldn't go through there. But the Germans had fired so many rounds, they cut the trees in half. And what they did was they were shooting wooden bullets. Would you believe that?
Wooden bullets.
They would
Huh?
shoot
Wooden bullets.
Wooden bullets, though, because now if a bullet hit a tree, the bullet would splatter, and they would send a splinter.
Oh, tree burst.
Yeah, and the guys that got hit with those splinters, they were out of action because the splinters were all over their bodies everywhere, their legs, their arms, their shoulders, their backs, and they, like I said, they fired so many shells they would just cut the trees in half. But it wasn't very nice, wasn't very pretty, but they did what they had to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was it like fighting in the snow and the just the Battle of the Bulge itself?
We froze to death.
Very simple. It was cold.
Yeah.
There's probably something you don't know is that we were going forward and forward through Europe there in France, and Hitler said that he was going to push us back into the ocean by that his forces were going to push us back in the ocean. Now they were very strong at that particular time, and they started their pushing, and as they was pushing, the winter came, and the winter was the biggest winter in the history of Europe.
Dang.
It's all on record at the time.
The Russians were dying in their foxholes from the cold. The Germans were dying in their. They couldn't move any equipment. They couldn't fly any airplanes. They could do nothing. On their side, that was the east side, but the west side, it was like spring. So we had a chance to move in everything, troops, all the troops and the guns and just everything we had to move. So when that, can you imagine the worst winter in the history of Europe?
I live in Chicago, so yeah.
Yeah, you know about the snow, right?
Oh yeah. But now, what was that like for you? Someone who's from California, had you ever experienced snow before the Battle of the Bulge?
Have I experienced what?
Had you experienced snow before you went to Europe?
No, because I was California. The only snow I saw was up in the mountains, and we never got snow down below. But I didn't like it.
We do now.
It's pretty crazy that especially in California. I mean, I'm born and raised in California. We go to see the snow. The snow doesn't come to see us. So it's much, very, very different.
And don't you guys also wear like jackets when it's only 60 degrees out?
Yes.
Jackets, what?
Jackets in 60
Yeah,
degrees.
yeah. Well, that's kind of true.
You're just making fun of Donnie. Yeah.
That's kind of true. I'm cold now.
No, they had they gave us the jackets, and then they gave us overcoats. I don't know if you ever seen those overcoats in the service, but they were about an inch thick of wool. And then we had our jackets, and then we had about 2 pairs of socks on. And then we had, but we were still freezing. I had one time I had every stitch of clothes I was issued, and I was still freezing.
Yeah.
That's how cold it was. But a California boy wasn't used to. I said, what the hell is a California boy doing out here in the middle of the snow? And
I got kind of this funny story, if you don't mind. A friend of mine, back when we had like the massive blizzard, it was like 2014, I think, or something. He's from California, and what does he do? Everything is shut down on Michigan Avenue. He goes and walks with his friend out in the middle of the street in this massive blizzard, and then their only shelter is going into a Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Who likes donuts?
But back to the war. I'm just curious about your how well did your M1 Garand perform in the freezing temperatures and just in general?
Great question.
The M1 Garand was a killer rifle. It was very, very, very well built.
Very efficient.
And it's very effective. Now, the Germans, when we came with the M1 semi-automatic. It had a grenade launcher that we put on the barrel, and we could fire grenades up into the windows. Like if there was a machine gunner up there or anybody that was up there firing at us, we could fire the
rifle grenades. Yeah,
a rifle grenade up into the window. But it also had for a bayonet. It had you could put your bayonet on it. When you fired the grenade launcher, you had to put a blank bullet. Well, carry blank bullets. So when we fired the grenades, we would put the blank in there. And it was that rifle was a killer rifle, like I said. But they told Hitler that the Americans are coming and they got a weapon that's very good. It's a semi-automatic. It's a 6.06, pretty good sized bullet, and armor piercing.
Yeah,
They would, armor piercing would go right through a motor of a car or a small tree. And then Hitler said that his gun was more effective. It was a bolt action, but it's very, very accurate. So he said he didn't want to change his gun over. But the thing is, when he fired,
Yeah.
they fired one bullet at us, we'd fire 3 bullets at them.
Yeah.
So that made it more effective, you know.
Yeah.
Because if they're out wherever they're at, you could fire 8 rounds as fast as you could pull the trigger,
Yeah.
and the clip would fly out automatically, and you have another clip in your belt, and you could reload very fast. So it was one of Hitler's boo-boos. Pardon me. It was one of Hitler's boo-boos that he didn't switch over to a semi-automatic. But he had some guns that were good, though. He had the burp gun, and a burp gun was pretty bad. It would hurt you.
I've seen, and you mentioned before how they kind of told you in some of the videos that they played for you guys that we had better equipment, and I've actually seen some of those old training videos.
Some of the old
training videos, like where they compare the burp gun to the Thompson to the grease gun.
There's the burp gun.
Yeah, MP40.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That one would hurt you.
Yeah.
But
That was a 9mm, right? Round?
yeah, 9mm. I think all of those were 9mm.
Yeah, ours were I think we were the only one who actually used 45 for our submachine guns.
Yeah.
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 But
Thompson.
we had most of our guns were all 30-06. The machine, the 30 caliber machine gun was 30-06. Our rifles were 30-06.
BAR.
BAR is 30 cal. Yep.
30-06.
Mhm.
And the reason for that was because if we run out of ammo, we could always go to the machine gun and get ammo, and we could fire it in our rifles.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that they kept a 30-06, because you could use our ammo.
It's a nice round for sure. It's one of my deer hunting rounds.
I've fired a few guns, but because range restrictions, this one range I go to only goes up to like 5.6, but I've held an M1 and it's like, it's awesome. I really want to fire that thing. You look through an M1 Garand sights, it's just perfect. You just cannot find any better iron sights out there. I mean, even an M14 doesn't compare to an original M1.
You didn't get to shoot it?
No, I didn't, because I got to hold it, but and it was like a special. It was a special variant that they had actually carved into it in celebration of, I think, Iwo Jima, Battle of Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
I love shooting M1
Yeah,
Grands.
a lot of guys would come out with M1 eyes and M1 thumbs, because
Yep.
if you're holding a rifle and your thumbs are right up there next to your eye, when you fire it, you're going to get a black eye. Also, when you put in the clip, you're holding back the slide with your hand. If that slide should slip and your finger's in there, you're going to get an M1 thumb.
Oh man.
Oh,
How did you wind up? I'm just wondering, how did you guys wind up actually, if that did happen, what was the call for getting your thumb out of the when it went all the way forward? How'd you get your thumb out of there?
When the bolt comes forward, when you stick the clip in, yeah.
Well, you can imagine that slide, when it slides really fast, and it's made of steel. So you're going to have a sore thumb for maybe a couple of days.
Oh yeah.
You basically, your only option is just
You
yank
can
it
pull a
out.
slide back. You have to pull a slide back. It's got that slide that loads the shell, and it's got like a finger,
Yeah.
It's got like a finger there where you put your hand in there and you slide it like that. So if you get your thumb in there, you just pull the slide back, and then you yell, Jesus Christ. That's what you do.
Ah, man, I really got to fire that thing one of these days. The only World War II guns I've fired are an M1 carbine in 1911. Those are about the only two I've fired.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
For some reason, our officers carried carbine, and they carried the 45. Well, we carried 45 in the M1, but we also carried a bayonet, trench knife. We carried a canteen. We carried a belt full of clips and 2 bandoliers.
Your
over our
trench
neck.
knife had the have the brass knuckles on it.
Brass knuckles?
On the trench knife.
On your trench knife, did it had like the?
Oh,
brass
no,
knuckles?
no. You didn't need those. That little trench knife we had was so sharp you could shave with it. And you could we used it for everything. Open up cans, cut branches with it. Just everything.
Rip the gut out of a
It was a good weapon.
I got one last question, and then I'll hand this off to someone else. What was the fighting like in the towns and the cities of Europe?
Well, it was very, very quick though, because we did a lot of spearheading with the Patton tanks. You see movies where they would be on the back of the tanks and going forward. Well, the tanks actually don't know what they're gonna encounter. Nobody does. No, but we don't know what's up there. So if we're going with a spearhead and they come to a town, they split up. They get a right flank, a left flank, and the main body. And that's the way they were going to go into to action or combat or whatever. But anyway, we would be off the tanks while they made their moves about assaulting the town. So what they would do is they would get on the radios. You could hear them talking to each other, and they would pick the highest people in the town, and they were loaded with phosphorus shell, which set fire to anything. And that they would bet that they could get it in the first shot. And then one would say, well, what do you got to bet? He said, I got a little bit of schnapps in a bottle here you can have. What do you got? He said, I got some cookies they sent me from home. He said, okay, you're on. And they'd pick this highest steeple in town, and they would never miss. Can you imagine never missing a tower? So when they fired the first shell, they set on fire, and the whole building would go up, and then everybody else started firing. 10 minutes later, the whole town was on fire.
Jeez.
But then we'd go through the town behind the tanks, and then we'd have to do mop up. Mopping up is going through the houses, and if there's any stragglers in the houses, and we'd either have to kill them or take them prisoner or whatever. But luckily, most of the time they would take off when our tanks set everything on fire. They would take off, and the mop up too. We would do our job, and then we would just move on, leave the buildings burning, and whoever's dead, they're going to be dead. But they had other people come behind us to take care of the dead people and stuff like that.
Hey, Roy, was there a lot of civilians around at the time as well? They just, I mean, when you guys were going to these towns, were there like a lot of civilians?
Yeah, there were, because what people don't know is that if you weren't a productive person, Hitler didn't want you. So the old people, the people that were sick, the people that were unable to be productive, he would take them back with him. They would go with the troops when they retreated. So we had a lot of people, but there were a lot older people and younger people and people that weren't productive.
Hmm.
He didn't want them.
Right.
So we'd have to go in there and we'd have to, we had our job to do, and our job was to take over the town and move on. We didn't stay to do any of the cleaning up with the bodies and the people, but they had other groups coming up that would take care of the dead and take care of the people and give them the medicines and food and everything, whatever they had there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
our job was keep moving. Patton says his tanks don't retreat, and that's to go forward.
Yeah.
You know where you're going or when you were coming back. You just did what they told you to do.
That's great.
And I was a good soldier. I got the good conduct medal.
Well, I'm going to ask you a story about that good conduct to see. I'll ask you a story a little bit later about that.
You ever hear Patton actually speak?
Ever what?
You ever hear Patton actually talk?
No, not really. He was too busy taking his tanks and blowing towns up. That's what he did.
I bring that up because when I first heard him actually speak, 'cause I think I saw the movie first, or I was watching Pad 360, and they don't have him talk to the very end. It's like it is ridiculous how his real voice is so contrast, and I can tell Donnie's smirking because he knows how funny it actually is. He just sounds so high pitched. He has like this very high pitched voice. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, but those actions,
Yeah.
right? Don't talk about it, be about it. Those actions are strong.
But that's
for
why he
sure.
swore a lot. That's why he had such profane language, because he felt no one would take him seriously.
Yeah.
He's buried in Belgium right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's buried in Belgium. What they say is he got into an accident and got killed in a vehicle. So they buried him there, right there where he got killed in Belgium.
Yeah.
He's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
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 Good stuff.
Matt, thanks for coming by, man.
It's always great seeing you guys. And Roy, this is from me and from everyone else. I wanted to say, Rangers lead the way, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, cool, Matt. We'll see you soon.
See you, buddy.
See you guys. God bless.
Bye.
Rangers lead the way.
Rangers
Love
lead
it.
the way. Speaking of that, let's show some pictures of a cool moment you had, Roy.
So, Roy, we can talk about this. This is the 75th anniversary.
Shine you, Daddy.
Oh, the anniversary?
It's shine.
Yeah, when we went up to Point du Hoc.
Hey, I know that guy.
You remember this at Point du Hoc when they did the reenactment of the 2nd Ranger Battalion climbing the cliffs at Point du Hoc.
That's where that French boy pushed me.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got some other ones. Let's see. There's you and Andre Chapaz talking to some guys.
Yeah. So these guys are active. These guys were active Rangers.
Yeah.
That they dressed up in the old uniform.
Yep.
That guy that was next to me was a 101st Airborne.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's right on the cliffs at Point du Hoc, early in the morning.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, Major General John Rand was there as well. Very, very special moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, let's bring some more people in. We got a couple people left waiting. Camden's coming in now. Camden.
Hello.
Camden, good morning.
Morning. You guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me just switch to my gallery view so I can see everyone. There we go.
You're a little dark, but it's okay.
Yeah, I can switch the light on if you want.
Yeah, turn the light on.
Yeah.
We gotta see your
Can't see your
face.
There we go. That better?
Nah,
Not really.
All the lights behind you.
Yeah, that's light needs to be in front of you, not behind you. It's all
Yeah.
good.
But anyway, you're on with Mr. Roy Huereque.
All right, Roy, before I start, I just wanted to say thank you very much for your service and your dedication to defending this country. I really appreciate it. And I know a lot of other people who've seen you already, I know they appreciate it as well.
Tell them how old you are and where you're from.
I am 17 years old and I am from Vermont,
Where's he from?
Vermont.
USA.
Old Vermont.
How old are you?
17.
Well, you're not ready for the army yet.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Well, go ahead, Camden.
So I had a question about, so I looked in the description and I read about some of your experience that you had. Did you ever have any experience like with meeting the Russian army, like who were coming in from the east and coming at Germany? Did you ever have any interference with
Did
them?
you ever have run-ins with the Russian army when you were in Europe?
Yes, we had some. We had some incidents, but we had to be careful because we didn't want to start another war.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a place where we were supplying potatoes, train loads of potatoes to the Germans because they had no food.
Yeah.
So the Russians were breaking into the trains and taking all the food. So they assigned us to the trains, and we'd go over to the Russians and we'd tell them that I tell you, German is a weg macht schnell. It means you better leave real quick. And what they would do is they would stick their finger out at us, the middle finger. That's how much attention they paid to us. So we couldn't kill them because, like I said, they were our allies, and not only that, they were pretty mean, those guys.
Yeah.
And I would point my rifle at them, and I would tell them again, "Hey, Ruski, mach schnell, weg, mach schnell." And again, he'd give me the finger. So I took it and I put the bayonet on. Now, when I put that bayonet on, I think that scared them a little bit because I'd point that bayonet at them and they would actually move. I wouldn't stick them with a bayonet though because I didn't, I didn't want to start another war with the Russians.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
They were pretty.
Good.
They were pretty stand. How would you call it? They held their ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I
did.
didn't know the Russians were actually stealing food. That's pretty crazy.
They what?
He didn't know the Russians were stealing food.
They stole everything. They would go in the Germans' houses and take everything they wanted.
They stole half of Europe too.
You know when the Russians went into Berlin.
Yeah.
When the Russians went into Berlin, we didn't go into Berlin because
they beat you to it.
The president Eisenhower wanted the Russians to get their revenge. So they let the Russians go into to Berlin, and the Russians killed everybody.
Wow.
And
Yeah, I
they-
know the Battle of Berlin was not
were-
good.
If you were a German dog or a cat too, they'd kill you.
Dang.
Really?
They found out that they were trying to escape through a river on these boats. Well, they went over and they blew the boats up.
Dang.
They shouldn't have done that because there were civilians, but the Russians hated the Germans so much. When they took over Berlin, they told the Germans, "We don't like you, and we're going to give you nothing." And they built a wall up there in Berlin. Remember that?
Berlin Wall, yeah. From
Yeah.
1961 to 1989.
And they meant it. They wouldn't give them nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of documented stories too, how the Russians treated the Polish after after they came through Poland. But people forget, on September 1st, 1939, people forget this, that the Soviet Union, the Russians were allied with Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Because on September 1st, 1939, the Nazis came in from the west, but guess who came in from the east? The
Soviets
Russians.
came
Yep.
Absolutely. And people forget about that. And then, things happened the next year when Hitler invaded the Soviet Union and they became our allies. But
Yep.
people forget about the Soviet Union and the Russians. I mean, they invaded Poland on the first day of World War II.
Yeah. I mean, I know the crazy thing is that Germany and the Soviet Union were even allied in the first place because like Nazism and communism were like two really separate ideologies that no one liked.
Yeah.
So-
They were fighting the communists in Germany.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For that. Yeah. Pretty interesting history, but it's important that we understand and we know the past, for sure. There's some
Yeah.
great stories, Roy. I love them.
Yeah.
Well, they were actual stories. I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the real life. Yeah. They weren't
I was
stories.
right. When the Russians went into Berlin, we were supposed to be the Russians in Vienna, Austria, but they moved too fast for us. So we got to read Austria. They were already in Berlin.
Wow.
So I was glad. I didn't want to meet them anyway because they might have started a war with us. So I didn't want to meet those guys. It went well, and I was happy.
Yeah. Well, served its purpose for sure.
Yeah. For sure. Well, Camden, great to see you again.
Good to see
You have
you
one
guys
last
too.
thing you want to say?
Yeah, Roy, thank you so much for your service again, and thank you for the stories. I mean, I
What's
think
that picture? What's that picture behind you?
which one?
The picture behind you.
This one?
Yeah.
It's a Marvel poster.
Oh my gosh, I have that exact same poster in my office right behind me.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought it was
Can't see it. Hold on, let me see if I can put that up. That's trippy. I didn't even notice that. Hold on. Let's see. See, there it is.
Oh wow.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Exact same one.
Well, they're all
That poster.
That's funny.
I like that guy.
This guy.
That's cool. Very cool.
Can I show him a picture of my squad?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
This
your
is
squad.
Me right here.
I'll hold it up.
On the far
Goals.
right.
There it is.
Yeah.
That guy right there.
That's
awesome.
my squad.
You got a
Okay,
mustache in that photo?
Oh, he does have a mustache.
You got a mustache, huh?
Is that a shadow or a mustache, Roy?
I don't know what that is.
It was
What's that
75
cigar?
years ago.
But I don't know where the picture was taken, and I don't know who took it, but there it is.
You don't remember taking that picture?
Yeah.
Oh.
That guy does look familiar.
That's awesome.
I wonder if I've seen him from
Yeah,
somewhere.
that is.
Well, cool. Camden, hopefully we'll see you again. And
Hopefully.
thanks for coming by.
All right,
All
buddy.
right, thank you
Thanks
for
for coming
having me.
by.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Yep.
Nice meeting
Coming
you.
by.
Right.
So I think we're coming up on 2 hours right now.
Oh,
How
yeah.
you feeling
wow.
right there? Roy, how you feeling?
You need to,
You need
you
to
want to
use
take
the
a quick
restroom?
break?
Yeah, how you feeling?
I can hang in there a little bit.
All right, let's
well-
bring like one or two more in. Or how you feeling, Donnie?
I feel great. I feel
Okay,
great.
cool,
Just
cool,
checking
cool.
on Roy, Just checking on him from Roy.
All right. So, well, let's see. We got Peyton, then Michael. So we'll wait till they can hear this. So Peyton, you'll be coming in next, then Michael. So Roy, tell us some more about what was the highlight outside of like meeting the president when we went back to Normandy? What was the highlight for you?
The highlight was meeting the president and
Well, I mean,
shaking the,
instead of meeting the president.
other than that, oh, the whole thing. And the little boy that wanted to push me in the chair.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was one. And then we went to the schools, They took us to the schools to meet the children.
Mhm.
And I thought the children were very well, how would you say that?
They carry themselves
They,
well.
they carried themselves really, really well. The French kids.
Yeah, they were very excited to meet you.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And they were very nice and they were very friendly, very friendly.
Yeah.
We had interpreters because I don't speak much French, but they had interpreters, and when they asked us a question, the interpreter would interpret for it.
Yeah.
But I think that was one of the highlights. And then they took it over to the Notre Dame, the
church.
Cathedral of Notre Dame. And we met the firemen that put the fire out.
Oh yeah. That was like the first thing we did when we got into France. Was went straight to that fire.
Remember that? Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, going to Mount Saint Michel was pretty special.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
That
when
was great.
when I came back from after the war, we went to Paris, and I went on tour, and I went over to see the Cathedral of Notre Dame, and to me it looked like it wasn't built by people. It looked like it was made by the angels or somebody. It was so perfect, and I
Yeah.
couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that it was made by man. Did you go in there yourself?
Yeah,
Wasn't
sure.
that amazing?
it was amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely surreal.
And then I visited. They still have the same cobblestone streets that when Napoleon was there.
Yeah,
That was something. Walking on the same cobblestone streets that Napoleon walked on.
yeah. Peyton, how you doing?
Hi, Peyton. Hi, Peyton.
All right, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sweet. All right, well, you're on with Mr. Roy Huereque. Tell him how old you are and where you're from.
I'm 12 years old and I'm from Michigan.
Michigan.
She's from where?
Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Oh, Michigan. Well, hello there.
Well, go ahead and you can go ahead and ask away.
All right. Well, someone in the chat, I think it was Matthew, he asked me to ask about General Rain, maybe is his name. I think his
Rand?
birthday was the other day.
Yeah, General John Rand.
Oh, John Ray. Sorry, you guys.
Last one.
Major General.
Yep.
General John Ray. Does that ring a bell?
John Wayne.
Yeah, he was with us at the
John Rand. Major General John Rand. Remember, he was with us on program for the 75th. And remember, you and him went up to Point du Hoc in the morning.
You were with him, honey.
Yeah, I was with him.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we hung around kind of butted together.
Yeah. Well, cool. Peyton, what's your question?
Well, I guess I'm gonna ask about something else because I don't really know exactly what they wanted me to ask. So
Yeah.
I guess, did you have any animals in service? Did you have like dogs, horses, mules, any animals? You know?
Did the army in Europe use animals in any way? Dogs or horses for anything? Were there animals for the army that we used?
Livestock?
No, I think that when they retreated, they would take most of the animals with them.
How about, did you guys have service animals? Like, were you
Service
guys
animals?
using, yeah, like that? You guys had enlisted animals.
No, we didn't have no animals.
Oh, okay.
I was just wondering.
Yeah.
It was like something I saw somewhere where some of the paratroopers jumped with their dogs.
Oh,
So,
did they?
Did you get any medals or awards for your service? Like I know a lot of people got the
No,
Purple Heart.
Germans?
Yes.
So,
No.
Roy, she asked if you got any medals or awards for your service.
Yes, I got the, in fact, I got one here somewhere. It's,
He's gonna turn it, honey.
let's see. Can you see this one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Legion of Honor, French Legion of Honor.
That medal there was the honor medal given to us for the liberation of France.
Yes.
So anyone that was there in the liberation of France got this medal. It was given by the French. What do they call it?
The French Foreign Legion.
French Foreign Legion?
Well, I got it from the French ambassador of France.
Yeah, no, it's a very special. No, that's a very special. It's
Yeah, that's
called the
about-
French Legion of Honor.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The French Legion of Honor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got certificates for them hanging on my wall.
Yeah. You wear that proudly because the French, they don't forget. They know that you helped liberate their country. And it wouldn't be, France today if it wasn't for, for you guys and for having that medal. Trust me, they remember.
That's my biggest medal.
Oh, it's a special one for sure. It's a special one.
Yeah.
Did you know that when they liberated Paris, a lot of people don't know that, but the French didn't want us to go into Paris because they had so many historical monuments.
Yeah.
And we go in there, we go there, our tanks, and we blow everything up. So they told us if we supplied them with small guns like machine guns and stuff like that they would go in there and they would liberate because they didn't want nothing destroyed.
Yeah.
So that's what actually happened, is that they were the ones that liberated the
Paris.
Paris.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want those monuments destroyed, like the church of Notre Dame and
Eiffel Tower.
they had the tomb where
Napoleon's tomb.
Napoleon's
Napoleon's tomb.
Yeah.
And then they had a lot of stuff that goes way back 300 years.
Yeah.
And
It was kind of nice for us to have an opportunity to go to Paris and see some of those monuments. Remember we took the picture in front of the Eiffel Tower?
Yep.
And we saw Notre Dame after it was got burned. So yeah, a lot of those monuments, some special monuments. I'm glad that we're still able to see them today, and it didn't get destroyed during the war.
They're not replaceable either.
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, Peyton, you have another question?
Yeah, I do. So I was just watching Band of Brothers, and I watched episode 9, and I was just thinking about the concentration camps, and I was wondering, did you get to any of the concentration camps and like liberate them, I guess you could say? I don't know.
Asked if you liberated any concentration camps. Do you remember the names maybe of the camps that you liberated?
No, I don't, because they were in German. I don't speak German, and I can't read German, but yeah, there were several of the, they had camps outside of the, what's the big name of that big?
Auschwitz?
Auschwitz, yeah. They had camps outside of Auschwitz. So when they had room for them, they would take them to the big camps, and that they would destroy it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we did, but you don't want to know about the graphics of those camps. So
When
because
I
you
was
won't,
younger, I did a couple
you won't-
essays on
you won't take
Auschwitz,
to that.
actually.
You did an essay on Auschwitz?
A few of them. Auschwitz.
Really?
It's heavy stuff for being your age.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was in like 5th grade, but I was really interested in it, so I wrote about it for an informational essay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's brutal stuff. Like me and Donnie have went to many of the concentration camps and just seen the aftermath. Some of them are still intact, and it's hard to even see
Oh my God.
now.
She's 12 years old.
Yep, she's 12 years
Yeah.
old.
Well, I don't think she wants to go into the graphics of the war. She won't sleep tonight.
She's done essays on them.
I know, but still, at 12 years old.
Yeah.
My God, that's awful young.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Peyton, do you have a question?
I'm really the only one of all my friends that's really interested in this stuff. The rest of them are like, forget about it. It's history.
Well, that's
Ignore
good.
it.
That's good. It's good that you're interested in it.
It's a good thing she likes history. She wants to remember.
Oh.
That's very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I show her a picture of my squad?
Go for it.
Absolutely.
You don't even have to ask, man.
Yeah.
There's his squad. That's very cool.
Are any of them still alive?
Somewhere in Germany.
No, he doesn't. He's looking for them. He knows a couple of them aren't, but he's looking to see if any of them are still alive.
She knew if any of them were still around.
He's on the hunt.
They're doing a research on these guys on the squad, and they found one, Masters. He was my buddy, and they found that he had died several years ago. But they're doing research now to try and reach the other guys in the squad. We don't know what we're going to come up with after the research.
Yeah, sure. Well, Peyton, thanks.
Yeah, maybe David would know.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe your buddy David, who lives in Lafayette.
Lafayette.
Peyton, do you have one last thing you want to say?
Yeah, I do. I wanted to thank you for your service. It's much appreciated even today. I mean, I don't know. I just know that we can't pay you back for what you did. It's what I'm trying to get at. What you did was like heroic, literally.
Yes, we're very appreciative.
A million thank yous.
Thank you very much. And I'm sure every one of us that were there, that if we had to do it again, we'd go and we'd do it.
Amen.
For sure. All right, Peyton, thanks for coming by.
Thanks, Peyton. Have a good day.
Oh, bye-bye. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, Austin, I just sent you a couple of pictures from Auschwitz.
Oh,
and we're talking about the concentration camps. I think you might even taken these photos.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I did.
I mean, a lot of the concentration camps are still intact. I mean, they did a pretty nice job to preserve the history, you know, so we can go back and see and to try to learn so that we don't repeat this ever again or allow anyone to do this ever again.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's a shot of Donnie this is at Auschwitz.
That's at Auschwitz.
Auschwitz.
Yeah.
So there's a famous photo of all the kids that were lined up right here in this little like this little like gravel pit where I'm at right here.
Yeah, it's so crazy to actually go there and see what it was actually like.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
Very
And
heavy.
it's a very emotional. Very emotional.
Yes, for sure. Then there's where'd it go? Picture at the gate. Where is it? There it is. So that's the entrance. And at the top it says work shall set you free, right? Isn't that what that translates to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Work will set you free. Yep.
Yeah, walking through that gate was just horrifying.
Yeah, because you see all the old photos and the videos from it, and it's just teary for sure.
For sure. Well,
All right,
Michael,
moving forward. Hey, Michael.
Hello.
how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Excellent. How old are you? Where are you from?
I'm 18. I'm from Canada.
Canada. All right.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thanks
Very
for joining
cool.
us.
Well, you are live with Mr. Roy Huereque.
Hello, Roy. Before I start, I just like to say thank you for your service. You know, freedom, it wasn't by chance we arrived at this freedom. It was your sacrifices and your generation that fought for it. And, you don't have to look far to see what a country without freedom is. And it's thank God that you fought for it. So thank you very much.
Where are you from?
I'm from Canada.
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 Oh, Canada.
Yes.
Wow, neighbor.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah, Canada was so important, our allies during the war. As
Yeah.
you know, I mean, huge. You guys were amazing.
I'm 18.
18.
Yes.
Oh, you're ready to go to the army.
I love it. Well, you got some questions for him, Michael?
Yes. My question is, what was your parents' reaction to your draft notice? Because I imagine it would have been pretty tough for a parent to hear that your son has to go to the military.
How do you say?
What did your mother feel about the draft with her kids having to go and serve? How did that affect her? What did she feel like when you got drafted?
Well, I tell you, they drafted how many was it?
Your mother, Dad.
16. They drafted 16 million. So there were 16 million mothers.
Mm.
I think they all felt about the same. They didn't want their boys to go, but it was a duty. It was a duty to the United States for the boys to go and do what they did. The mothers got a red star for every boy they took or girl, and they could put them in her window. My mother had three red stars from her boys, but she did her duty. She was very patriotic, and she never said anything about not going or you can't go or you shouldn't go. She just went along with the program. So I imagine all the other mothers did the same thing. They just had to go along with the program, but it had to be done.
She didn't want you to go.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as a parent, it's hard to imagine what that would be like to send your child off to war.
Yeah.
But you also understand the responsibility and the duty.
And the importance of it as well.
Yeah. It was like, it's time to save the world, And they went out and they did it.
I mean, Austin, think about it. You're a parent,
Yeah. My son's 16, so I mean, like, Rondo. I mean, I always think of like Rondo.
Right. Think of Rondo.
16.
Exactly.
He lied about his age, went in, and he wanted to go serve. I mean, thinking about my son who's 16, like, oh man, that's crazy to think about. But
Crazy to think about, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Well, Michael, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I just have one more question. Is were you ever wounded?
Were you wounded, Roy?
Were you wounded?
No, I wasn't actually wounded. I got some shrapnel. But I went in the oven and that stopped all the shrapnel. But
Spoken like a true ranger.
Yeah.
Little flesh wound.
Yeah. Went inside the oven. It was still hot, but didn't get that shrapnel on me.
when the firing started, I could always find a tree to get behind. I could find a building I could get behind. I could dig a foxhole. But my training was like we were trained to know what to do in a situation under fire. We were trained, and most of it worked out in our training, and we knew what we had to do. So
Yeah.
it would be hard to kill me anyway because I'm only 5'7".
Yeah. No, I mean, you just never know. Like in war, you just never know where the bullets are going to be flying. I mean,
No,
I
they
don't know
don't
if it's
have
luck or not. Yeah, they don't discriminate. They just go wherever they go. And
That's right.
For sure. Well, Michael, thanks for coming by, man.
Well, it's been a great honor. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your weekend to give us this opportunity. I know a lot of people on this call really appreciate it. They look forward to it anytime you post it. So from the bottom of my heart, I really thank you. I really thank Roy, and it's been a great time.
awesome.
Well, nice meeting you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope
Thank
to see
you.
you again.
Yeah. Come on back.
I will.
Yeah.
All right, Michael. Have a good
All
day.
right. So we have one person left waiting. You want to just do one more and call it good?
One more,
You
Dad.
got one more in you, Roy?
One more.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right. We got one more left.
Hey,
Dion.
I'm a ranger.
He's a ranger. He's ready
I'm a
to go.
ranger. I love that.
All right. Let's see. Dion, can you hear us? We can't hear you. Now I can hear you.
Okay. Hello, I'm Jan. I'm 12 years old and I'm from Albania.
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 Awesome.
Oh.
That's fun.
Yeah.
12 years old from Albania.
Hey,
Yeah.
Roy, you ever been to Albania?
Albania? No. I can't even pronounce it.
No.
Well, Dion, good to meet you. And you're live with
Good to meet
Mr.
you
Roy
too.
Huereque, so ask him a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for your service. And even though no American soldiers ever set foot on Albania, I still am thankful for what he did during that time.
It affected the whole world.
The whole world. Absolutely.
Yeah,
The whole world.
I just wanted to say something. I remember that he said that he never wanted to meet the communists, the Soviets. And I have a story that I remember my grandpa used to tell me that when he was a little boy, around 7 or so years old, the communists came to our country, and when he saw them for the first time, instead of being happy, he was the complete opposite, since he wasn't happy for what had happened. He knew that they weren't going to do good things.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have the best of intentions, that's for sure.
And so did my family kind of suffer the dictatorship until 1991.
Wow. So how far away is Albania from Russia?
Not that far away.
Okay.
At the time,
Does it border it?
very, yeah,
Remember. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to remember exactly where that is.
it was very close. It is
Yeah.
very close.
It's right across from Italy. So just think, where
Yeah.
Greece. So Albania borders Greece and
Macedonia,
Macedonia, Kosovo. It's all kind of like right.
Yeah,
So you think about Italy, just right across the Adriatic.
Yeah, I have some stories of some relatives that escaped to Italy or to Greece during the dictatorship.
Oh wow.
I just have a question for Mr. Roy.
Yeah. Go for it.
What did he feel when he heard that the Japanese surrendered and the war was over?
Or which one?
What did you, when you heard the Japanese surrendered and the war was over, how did you feel?
Oh, I was in Paris, France, when the war ended over there, and they were going to send us to China, Burma, and India to help the boys in the South Pacific. So word got out that they dropped a bomb, and we didn't have to go to China, Burma, and India, but we didn't know what the bomb was because it was so secret. Nobody knew that we had the bomb. So they dropped one in Nagasaki, and they asked the Japanese if there was surrender. They said no. So they dropped another one in Nagasaki and
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they decided they would surrender because the bomb was so destructive. So that's where I was. I was right there in Paris, right near the Eiffel Tower.
Wow, almost right there where we were a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So were you?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have a question, Mr. Roy.
I'm listening.
In what branch of the military were you in? The Army, the Air Force, or the Navy?
What branch? Which branch? I was in Patton's Third Army.
Which is?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was
You ever heard of Patton? General Patton?
Army.
Yeah, I was in the Army.
So Roy, before you joined the 5th Ranger Battalion, what unit were you with before?
What unit?
What unit? Who were you with before you joined the Rangers?
I just come out of training, and
Yeah, but
when I got out of training, I jumped right into the Rangers.
So you were training in the Army.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to say that it's quite amazing to meet Mr. Roy, since I've never actually met a World War II veteran. The only one that would be considered close is my grandma's brother, who was sort of a partisan for when he was just 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
A partisan for which country?
Partisan?
Of course, Albania, but
Albania.
at the time, at the time, a lot of people, partisans, considered themselves communists. They didn't know what was to come in the future. They just thought that they were great people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
People.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020. We all know now.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure.
Yeah.
I have a question for Mr. Roy. What was the most expensive and powerful weaponry he ever used?
That we ever used?
What was the most expensive and powerful weapon you ever used?
The most powerful.
The only weapons we had were the infantry weapons that were issued to us, and they were I fired every one of them. The mortar, 30 caliber machine gun, the BAR, the bazooka, the bazooka.
Oh, wow. You fired a bazooka?
That's cool.
And the reason that they had us fire every weapon is because if the machine gunner got killed, guess who the next machine gunner would be?
You.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we had. We just had the the weapons that were issued to us for the jobs that we had to do. And they were pretty effective. They were pretty effective.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they the artillery, they had the same thing, and they were issued what they needed, and so on and so forth, you know.
That's cool. Wow.
Yeah, awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
Dion, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Or what time is it over there? It's probably after
9 hours.
It's around it's 7:30 p.m.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's morning for me.
Thank you for inviting me here. It was a great experience, and one that will last in my memory for quite a while.
Very good. Glad to hear
Awesome.
it. Well,
Awesome.
we try and do these every week, so pay attention and join us again next time.
I'll try and see.
All right, get your friends involved as well. Let them understand and know about history. It's so important, you know, and the more that we can continue to tell the stories and to share it, it's good for everyone.
Absolutely.
And I was happy to meet Mr. Roy, since I like history. I'm obsessed with it, especially World War II history. And you are the only people I've actually been able to express it, and nobody else in my class actually really cares about it.
Well, to you, man.
I'll tell you one thing though. One thing that come out of war is that the only thing that is the only one that profits from war is the undertaker. That's all.
Yeah.
No one else will profit. No one else profits. The whatever side it is, they don't profit.
Yeah.
But the undertaker will profit.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Sure.
War's ugly for sure. Well, Dion, thanks for joining us. If you have any last words you got to say to Roy before you leave.
I just wanted to say, Mr. Roy, thank you for your service. You really helped. You really did something great, even though it was involved in a killing. Still, I'm very grateful, and I wish that I can see you guys again.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you too.
All the way from
Goodbye.
Albania. Thank you, Dion.
All right.
Goodbye.
Wow. All the way from Albania. I think that's the first.
That's a new one for us.
Yeah, we've had a lot of different countries, Romania, all over the world.
Checking Albania off the list.
Yeah, for sure. Roy, I hope you had a good time. This is a great way, especially during this pandemic, to connect with people, to share your stories. I mean, you're talking to so many people and kids and just, history enthusiasts from all around the world that are keeping your stories and your brother's stories alive, which is so special. And I hope you had a good time today.
I had a very good time, and I really appreciate and glad to see you guys again.
Yeah.
See you too.
Well, we're going to be reaching out to you here pretty soon. I'll be calling you in a couple of days because there's a program that's coming up in July that we just got confirmation on. So I will be calling you. It's a special one.
Can I show you one more picture here?
Sure. Absolutely.
Look at this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
They're going to hang up a boat trade right in the center of town.
Very cool.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, those are great. I know some cities and some towns, especially in San Diego, in Coronado, they do a great job of highlighting and recognizing our old warriors for sure, with World War II, Korea, Vietnam. It's pretty special. So you're going to have your chance as well, which is going to be great. I can't wait to see the picture on the street. It's going to be great. So congrats.
Absolutely.
You deserve it. Well deserved. Well deserved. Well done. What's that?
The only thing that I get a lot of this here, but I don't want to hear it, is that there aren't too many of you guys left.
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're staying strong for sure. Happy birthday. 95 is a great year. We'll keep it going, and we'll keep pushing forward. So good seeing you, Roy. Hi to the family. Goodbye to Barb. Thank you so much.
And you tell that pretty girl hello that I said.
Hey. She's back there somewhere. Anyways, all right now. Well, thank you again, and we'll do it again.
All right.
Hope to-
Goodbye.
hope
Right
to
on.
see